Hi guys, and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to show you how you're going to play the CT side on Nuke, and I'm going to go over each position on Nuke and how you can play it with the basics, agility, and some general tips on how to play the CT side on Nuke. And this isn't going to be an in-depth guide of how you're playing ramp or A side, but just a basic with how to start around and in general how to play the position. And this video can be really good if you're trying to learn a new map or just are struggling on a map, or just want to learn some of the basics again and some of the utility. And this can also be really useful if you're playing Faceit, because in Faceit you almost need to know how to play every position, and if you get a position you don't know how to play, it can mess the whole team up. So I'm gonna start off with A side, then come to ramp, then outside, and then for rotation player. And for A side, it's probably the position that I see the most people getting wrong, because especially in a little bit lower E, people like to play main as a position, and yes, that's just not a position. What it's going to look like when you play A is you have two guys who's playing on A side. And every round you always want two guys to come up towards heaven. So mainly if somebody is going to come in towards main and play this position, it's normally going to be a rotation player, so not the A player. So both the A players are going to come up like this right here. And the reason you want that is because it's way easier to stop a rush when you're coming two up towards heaven. Firstly, you can throw the best anti-rush utility, and secondly, if one of them started main and they just instantly smoke main and flash here, you have one guy defending the whole side against 5 people, and it's pretty hard to retake A side if there's 5 alive. So always come 2 towards heaven, and when you come out heaven, what it's going to look like is the first guy with the best spawn, he's going to come out like this, and he's going to aim right over this sign right here onto this railing, the middle. Then while he's running, he's going to throw his Mulo and jump on top right here. And then either he can bounce a nade on top of hot to stop any guys pushing the door, or he can also nade in towards hot right here, also stopping the rush. And then he can come on top of hot. A good tip is while you're doing this, try to keep looking down, so if they flash early, you aren't going to get wiped by the flashes. The guy with the second spawn is just going to come up here, and he's going to Mulo hot. And I can do that by just bouncing a Mulo in towards this wall right here. And this Mulo will land right in front of hot right here, making it a lot harder to try and smoke it off. And after that, you can either try to get a position in towards side if you feel risky by doing that, or as you normally would, just drop down in towards side and play the side position. For every round, you want a hot Mulo and a door Mulo to stop the rushes, and you can also add a nade that the guy on hot is throwing. Then after that, one of the A players is gonna hold primarily towards door, and the other guy is holding towards hot. And playing A is all about using your utility right and standing in some good setups. A good timed door smoke or hot smoke can be really good to stop an A pop. So a really useful smoke to know is that you can come into this corner right here. Then while standing in this corner, you can aim right here, this corner, and throw a smoke. And this smoke will bounce perfectly like this, and if the door is open, it's gonna bounce into the door and smoke the door completely. And can be really useful to know if you're playing from side and you have a smoke and teammate don't, just to come into here, throw the smoke, and then play a position again. Then just standing in a lot of setups with a guy on hot or a guy on side, and just talking with a teammate is very crucial. And one thing you need to know as an A-side player is that you just can't stand still. Let's say they are taking ramp or they're coming down in secret. Sometimes you need one guy to rotate down in towards the vent, and that's normally the guy who's playing towards the door position. Or if that's not possible, then sometimes trying to take some space if you are in a disman advantage, by pushing to get a hot maybe, or come in towards the door just to take some space and try to get a free kill. And even though it looks pretty stupid that a guy could just be holding you and you're pushing, doing it 2 guys if they're minning outside and they maybe kill just 2 guys and it's a 3v5, you need to do something to win the round. Or playing ramp on Nuke, it's all about in the beginning trying to stop the rush, and second of all, trying to play some good and smart positions. So as a ramp player, you always want to either smoke or Mulo ramp in the beginning. I normally just recommend the Mulo because it always gives a sound cue that the T's are rushing. And sometimes if there's a smoke early, you're just not gonna respect that and are just gonna rush through it. So you're gonna bounce your Mulo on the back wall right here, so it bounces perfectly in here and blocks off anybody rushing. And if they're flow by and you feel like they're rushing ramp, you can also right after just use a nade. After you used your early utility and see they're not rushing, finding a good position that suits the situation or getting a good smoke is crucial as a ramp player. Because getting a good time smoke on ramp as a ramp player if they're setting up pop can mess up the round completely, and after time playing ramp a lot, you sometimes know when it's getting too quiet on outside and A and they're getting ready, and when you need you to use a smoke. Else, ramp is all about playing some really good position that you can maybe get a kill and fall back from in ramp. and knowing when you need to fight and when you need to fall back. A general rule of thumb is, let's say you're in a man advantage, it's a lot more safe to just fall back because you have the advantage and you can just get a teammate to hold the flank. But let's say it's a 3v5, then sometimes you need to get a kill or two and you can try and fall back. The position that I like to play are behind red crouch right here, can also be really good with an orc. On top of this yellow railing right here can also be really good, and just leave a gap here so you can see anybody coming crouching. You can also play an off angle like this, which is really hard for the T's to clear and almost guarantee you a free kill. This position is also really good. You can just not fall back from this position, so it's a one and done position, and can also be used if you're playing 2 on ramp. If you have AK, a position like this can also be really good, where you just can see the heads, but it's good when you can one-tap headshot them. If you have a bad weapon like MP9 or 5.7, playing close around this cube can be really crucial. Normally when I have MP9, I like to just stay crouched right here and try to jiggle around here and try to get a timing on somebody trying to sneak out thinking they have a timing. Or just sometimes peek my head up like this, trying to get a guy on off. Or you can also play this position right here, and this is really powerful at 5.7. I've sometimes got a 4k or even a 5k right here, because from this close distance right here, 5.7 one-tap headshot, so it's a one-tap kill, and not that many people clear this angle. And this angle right here can also be pretty good with a low buy. And then last but not least, getting boosted can also be a really powerful position. For playing outside, you need to be very comfortable in your duels and don't be scared at all. In general, some of the good early utility you can throw is first of all coming into right here, and then finding these like wires right here. Then while aiming at top one, just run and then just throw your Molo, and this Molo go all the way deep here outside, and sometimes miss the close smoke or just deny any rushes early. Then one of the most popular smokes to throw is the glaze smoke right here, just right in front of here, that allows you to try and come close here and play some of these positions. It just makes it a lot harder for the T's to come press up towards outside. Also, when you're playing outside, you need to talk a lot with your rotation player, because he's the guy if you want to play 2 outside or want the guy to flash you or anything like that. He's the guy that's going to do it, and it's also going to mainly be your AWPer, so if you want to AWP the player on outside or he needs to take a peek, it's you two that need to do it together. And if you want to go aggressive on outside, I recommend having a teammate come for you, either with flashes or just to come there. And a really good setup you can play is one guy is playing behind this glaze smoke right here, looking silo, and then another guy is trying to sneak close like this, and this position can be really powerful to play. And then you can have some kind of deep setup. You can also just try to get the AWP to play it with some long range duels, or sometimes starting down in secret and coming up here with a flash or just holding secret can also be really good. But in general, if you're alone, you need to really much rely on your utility and playing on the info, and sometimes playing some off angles like playing in garage right here, holding main, and not contesting for too much, because you know T's they got the AK, and the AK can one-tap headshot from the long range duels. So sometimes just taking straight up duels with a M4 against the AK can be unfavorable. And if they aren't using that much utility on outside or just running outside, getting off to play like a deep position like this or up towards the red box right here can also be crucial. And when you're playing outside, you're mainly gonna meet 2 sets of smokes that's gonna make the T's able to cross down to secret. The first one is normal one, where they throw a smoke right here, they throw a smoke right here, and they throw a smoke right here. And this is gonna allow the T's to come down to long range right here and sneak like this. Here a nade is your best friend, and nading the smoke can be really good and play a position like this and try to catch anybody pushing off guard. The other smokes they can throw is the smoke right here and the smoke right here, which is gonna allow them to come a little bit closer to the smokes and then sneak down towards secret. And this is gonna give them a lot more space, but also only uses 2 smokes. And again, you can also nade these smokes right here. Just beware as outside player, this smoke right here allows them to almost dig in towards main, so you need to either communicate that to your team or hold the push. And as a general rule of thumb, if they're throwing the normal way down smoke, right, then you want your A player to rotate down, and if you throw the C smokes right here, then you want your ramp player to rotate down. And the reason for that is with these C smokes, they can sneak in like this, so there's one more position that the A players need to hold, and if there's a guy solo or only 2 on A side, it can be pretty hard. So having the ramp player rotate down can be a lot better. Where here, if they're throwing the normal ones, they can't come into main, so having the A player rotate down can be the best option. And the last position I'm gonna talk how to play is the rotation, and that's probably gonna be the AWPer. And there isn't any special kind of utility that you need to know when you're playing rotation. And probably the most common place you're gonna be as rotation is in heaven. That's because you can help A side, you can help outside, and you can fast help towards ramp. But sometimes, even as a rotation player, taking a gamble, oh, they're gonna come outside now, so I'm gonna help outside, and then coming down and play a setup or a position with your outside player. And also sometimes taking the gamble on ramp to play like this position with your ramp player can be better, because even though here you can come out, help A, help outside and help ramp, it just isn't as good if you already were outside and already were ramp. So playing the rotation is all about communicating with your team and having some play with the outside, the A players and the ramp players, and then have a read of the game. What are they gonna do now? And that's what Simple are really good at doing, reading the game and always be where they're gonna push. And guys, that's how to play the CT side of Nuke. Hope you learned something new or just got a good insight on how you can play the different position. If there's anything you think I missed, write in the comments. And if you learned something new, give this video a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.